through. I think so. Alright. So, scene opens up. And you guys are on this small boat that you had set off from the island that you guys had discovered last session. It's just slowly drifting through the waves. And you have nothing but time till you get to your destination. Is there anything that the characters want to bring up? I know Gil's experienced some very traumatizing things last session. Wedward, I'm not sure how they would experience it. Yolnir probably has other questions he wants to ask the Gils. You guys really haven't gotten to know each other too much. There's just been a lot going on. So you have nothing but time.
Do we want to talk at all about like our physical appearances, or are we going to?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Session? Okay. I'll go first. So I'm Yolnir. He is. Where's my character sheet? He is a 4-armed, 8.5 foot tall, just muscular man. He has matted ginger hair, just ginger body hair, and scars that are just scattered across his body.
Cool. And how does Wedward look?
Why you gotta come to me?
I mean,
all right.
So, student.
Wedward, when he's standing straight up, is probably about 9 feet tall, but he stands very hunched. So normally he stands about 8 feet tall in his hunched over state. He's very thin, very almost no muscle. He has very long arms, very thin. You can almost see the bone through just most of his normal actions. Mm-hmm. At the end of his arms, where his hands would be, he's got his hands, and then instead of each finger, they're just about a foot-long claw, which is basically what his nails are, and that's what he uses to do his deeds.
I feel like the nails got longer. What? A foot long? What? What
sure.
Did I miss? Alright.
Half foot, somewhere. They're claws.
Jesus, man.
It's an indeterminate length.
He's humanoid form-wise, so he stands on his 2 legs. He's got his arms that he actually just holds out in front of him. So humanoid stature. He's got a wolf face, so think of much more of a kind of matted wolf, like feral wolf face. A little bit of a shorter nose, a lot of scarring around his face. His skin is gray, and he's got like coarse, thick black fur on his back, kind of on the back of his arms, back of his legs. And then he generally wears a black cloak that goes over all of it, so he can hide a lot of his features, because as not normal as some people are, he's a little more out of the ordinary than most. So that's about the look of Wedward.
That's pretty unsettling and disturbing. Next,
as it should be.
How does Gills look, Christian?
Yeah, so for Gills, if you picture a stereotypical Viking, you have a general idea of what he looks like, really. Taller than average height, blonde hair, wears like a chainmail shirt wherever he goes, blue undergarments. Pretty much what he looks like, really. Think of a Viking, you got it.
Is Gil's slogan, "Let's go Gills"? That's good.
I don't get that one, man. I'm sorry.
Is his hair braided, did you say?
Yeah, braided.
Yeah, that's about how I'd view him. So, you guys are on this boat. Just experienced a lot of things very quickly. Is there anything that your characters are wondering about? Talk about?
I would say Yolnir is probably like as sprawled out as he can be on this boat. How long have we been on this boat?
Are you taking up like as much space as possible?
How long have we been on this boat?
I'd say about 2 days.
It's been like days.
It's been 2 days, and
Oh
morning just broke, and you're very hungry. In fact, you guys are all hungry. Go ahead and I'll mark your 1 boxes.
Oh, great! That's a great
1
start
boxes in your I'll say will or physique, whichever one you think is more befitting to your character.
Mine is
Are you carrying over any stress from last session?
Any boxes? No.
Okay.
If you had consequences, they would all be like remedied a little bit depending on what they were.
Alrighty.
But I don't think anyone did that, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail on that.
Yeah, my mouth is like agape as it just stares into the morning sun. My head is like hanging off the side of the boat.
Hmm.
Is the crew like waking up? Are y'all just like
Sure.
Gills is
you're
trying
like,
to like sleep his way through this. He's trying to be as out of this as possible.
I don't blame him.
I'll just be like, do we even know where this is going?
Gills is gonna just get up at that answer and just try to figure out where the hell it's going. Does Gills have any bearing on what's happening here, or do I need to do like a navigation check?
You can, yeah, sure.
All right, +2. Shit.
It's 2. You
That's a
can
roll.
only assume that you're heading to the shore somewhere where you came from.
I can tell you for certain
We're
we're
going that
heading
way.
in a direction.
Well, I guess that's good. Better than no direction. Do you know, are we making circles or does it look like we're going straight?
Gills, at the very least, you can tell by the way the waves are moving. You've been going in the same direction.
That doesn't mean Gills is gonna tell you that. You see, we just passed that wave right there. We're heading in that wave's direction. So yeah, we're going. We're going.
So we're following that wave? I'll like point to a wave.
Yeah, you see that wave? We're just gonna pass it in like another 5 minutes. All right, don't you worry.
That looked like a kind wave. I think we're gonna make it. You, how long have you been on the sea, Gills?
For most of my life, really. For the past 15, 20 odd years now.
You always been with that crew?
Well, before then, I didn't have anything else, so that was all I had. That was all I had.
Very somber breeze rushes through your braided hair.
I was, have you run into any guys like that before? People who can just make chains out of nothing? Grab a motherfucker and pull him down the water?
Fish people. Seen it often enough. Not common, but nothing enough to scare me. At least not anymore. But the chains, that's new.
And, trying to help that guy, I, saw you underwater for quite a while. You can, you just breathe down there?
Hold your breath a little longer.
It's a hell of a breath holder.
It's nothing too hard. Just gotta hold your breath. Yeah, let me practice with me. Just
I'll practice with you. I'll hold my breath. Can we take physique rolls to see who can hold my breath longer?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you guys. I mean, you
want
can
to
roll
hold my
all you
breath
want.
longer than Gills.
Yeah, go for it.
Gills is breathing through his nose. He's cheating you.
Yeah,
I want to roll deceive.
roll deceive versus his physique. Oh no, you guys suck at rolling today.
As I'm holding my breath, I just lean over and I plug your nose with my hand.
And you hold your breath longer than Gills.
Ah, I knew it! You're hiding something!
Just a fluke. Just a fluke.
Well, you gotta teach me how to hold my breath, because, I'm getting hungry. I could get us some fish.
That's a
Teach me how
practice
to hold
room.
my breath that long. I can get us some fish. We'll chow down. Please, I'm hungry.
Gills.
Yeah.
Never mind. You had rolled the 0 earlier. You're good. Actually,
You're gonna punish me again?
no.
Okay.
I'll let you take a navigation or notice. I'll let you take another one.
All right. So navigation gives me a 1.
Hey, let's go. Slightly above average roll.
Hell yeah.
And that is just enough to notice by the very calm waves that you're experiencing in the ocean. You know that you have to be somewhat close to the shore by now. The ocean would be much rougher if you were deeper in the ocean.
So Molnir, right? We're not too far from coast now. I'd say give it another couple hours or so, and we should be there.
Oh,
So
thank God.
you don't need to hold your breath for too long.
Just kind of sprawl out further.
God, there's only so much room. So what's that
Awkward
guy
silence
over there?
later.
You point at Woodward?
Yeah, I'm pointing out Edward. Like, what's his deal? What's Pokey's whole business doing here?
What's Pokey doing right now? What is Woodward doing?
Uh, he's probably just looking out on the ocean. I mean, this is his first time ever being out on the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
being really out of his own comfort zone, more or less. So he's probably just been staring at the ocean this whole time, not really making too much noise. Occasional stomach growl you'll hear, but as soon as he hears his name, he kind of perks up and will look over and kind of join the like slowly walk over and join the conversation.
I'll like unsprawl and I'll sit up. I'll kind of look at him at Gills. What are you you afraid of him?
You not?
I was when I was younger. At least I was afraid of his kind. When I was a younger boy, just a boy, I got lost in the forest. I was searching for days. I was out there for 28 days, scavenging for whatever food I could. And I heard a horrible screech. Terrified, I ran. It got closer, and I turned a corner, and there it was, standing 9 feet tall, this wolfish creature. And it just looked down at me. I was so small, I just went cold. Just long enough that it could have grabbed me, but I gathered my wits and I ran further. I heard more screeches. There must have been a dozen of them. Different direction here or there. I changed my course 1,000 times, running and running and running, the thirst parching my throat. Until I made a clearing and I found my home. Now, at the time, I was too terrified. I simply opened the door, shut it, and tried to find my father. But thinking about it, that thing could have grabbed me. It could have grabbed me as any predator would have. But for some reason, it didn't. And those screeching noises, they always changed my course to go a certain direction. And I found myself wondering, did they lead me back home? Why didn't they eat me that day? Unlike any other creature I'd seen in the forest, and I'd been in the forest a long time, all my life up until that point.
I just
So-
gave up, found a bigger animal. Decided to eat that instead.
Perhaps. But I don't believe that. I kind of look at Wedward. There's something different about these things. I wish I could call them something other than mimic, but that's all I've really got for them. The screeches, they almost sounded like human voices. And I went back to that section of the forest when I was older, more capable, much stronger. a size that I thought I could take one of these things if things got to that level or that point. And I saw one bleeding. As I was watching it out of nowhere, this guy, Wedward, came down and started eating it.
Woodward, hearing this, puts his head down, kind of turns his back to the conversation, kind of gets small.
I definitely acknowledge that, and I kind of like look down a bit, and I'll just look back at Gills. You see, I think something can happen when those things eat each other. And I like say eat each other as quietly as I can to Gills. I saw what was a beast grow some kind of shame or guilt. He came back to my home, actually, and that shame and guilt, I want to believe there's something human in there. Something deeper. And when I learned it could speak, I think it has thoughts, it simply doesn't know how to communicate yet. So I've been trying to teach it so that I could ask it about that day. Perhaps it has some information. I assure you, he can be dangerous if the fight calls for it, but he does have humanity. He feels shame, just like any other man.
So you're trying to tell me you're raising a furry kid with knives for hands?
I am raising what I believe to be at least somewhat human. And yes, he does have knives for hands.
From Woodward kind of still being turned his back, you just hear him say, "Kin."
We're kin. He helped me hunt. He taught me how to make a trap or two, even. There's something more there. Once he learned the concept of rope, he had creative ways of using it. Catching all kinds of things. My bounty doubled easily. And he doesn't eat as much as you would think until he's very hungry.
Oh, so long as he ain't hungry for the length of this trip, you can do what you want with them, I suppose.
And I'll kind of like look a little like almost excited, and I'll go, that's the thing. He is hungry. And we're untouched. I know there's something more in there. I just know it.
Well,
What about
I
you,
hope
Gills?
you're right. Well, what about me? What, where I come from? What am I doing? Like this, that sort of thing. I
What do
mean,
you want?
what do I want?
If Gills
Well,
actually doesn't know what he wants, just keep going.
Well, what is it that I don't want? I think is the better question. I don't want to go back to those slums. I don't want to be hiding in alleyways, hiding underneath tinfoil roofs. I don't want to be scraping the. I don't want to go back to where I came from. Now, what is it that I want? I think that's I think that one's a little bit more personal of a question for me.
Well, we got nothing but time and plenty of bonding.
What's Gil's like physical demeanor? He's like saying this.
When he's talking about home, he's very much more somber, but very. It's a serious topic, but he's trying to be flippant about it, like he's trying to
Yeah.
save face. But when it's about just what he actually does want, he's very much. He's trying to act prideful and avoid the question entirely.
Yeah.
because he already knows if he gives the real answer, people are not gonna like it.
So he's not really like staring Yolnir in the eye. He might be like giving a bit more handsy expressions while thinking.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, yeah, it's like, well, I mean, hey, what I do want though, I don't feel like I should go really into that. That's more of a me sort of thing, you know?
Got you.
So what is it that you want, Yolnir? What are you trying to get?
He kind of slumps back and he looks down. There's a smile on his face and kind of a glimmer in his eye. And he says, I think I just want to appreciate what's been given to me. And I want to do everything I can to see what else there is to see, you know? I kind of look up at like the sun as it's coming up. And I said, just look out there, Gills. Look out. Like to the horizon.
Beautiful horizon on the sea.
The world chooses to give us so much. Nature is so incredibly beautiful, and I'd like to see as much of it as I can. Because it's that kind of beauty that gives me a reason to live. And I see that beauty in people, too. And I want to uncover as much of that as I can before I leave. Before I leave this life.
The world is a beautiful place. I'm not even going to disagree with you on that. And I can see why you want to go out there. But people's where the ugly is. People's the one you don't want to trust. That's a little tip from Gills.
He loses his smile. Yolnir does. He says, people can be ugly. And I think that's part of the beauty of them. Is that even in that dirt, even in that filth, even when someone has nothing but evil in them, somehow they can still do good. At least, that's what I try to believe in people.
Well, whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
Yeah, we all tell ourselves what we need to get through the day, huh? Tell me, Gills, have you heard of Barren?
What's that?
A continent, seemingly completely untouched, lost to time. That's where I'd like to go. Surely nature has great wonders there.
Oh, the old land.
You know it by that.
Now that's a place I want to go to.
Well,
think of the castles, what that holds in there.
you can look for the gold, and I will look for the beauty.
Does
We
Gills
could go together.
have a smile when you guys are talking right now?
Yeah, Gills is smiling.
And is Yolnir smiling?
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you continue.
Mm-hmm.
Picking up on social cues as a Woodward.
Yes. Because if there's a pause in the conversation, Wedward will do something. But if you guys are still actively in the middle of it, just finish it. And Wedward will come in a bend.
Tell me, according to history, it seems we've got the weirdest generation going on. We've got people born with 4 arms. I just gestured to myself. And all kinds of other oddities. I'm wondering about those people with abilities. And I wonder how many of those we would see in Barren, if any. If there's anything even there. I think we should find more out about all the oddities before we try to go to the oddest place.
Well, it sound like you're my ticket there, so sounds like we need to do some research then.
Yolnir gets a huge smile, and he looks at Wedward, and he looks at he like points at both of you with both of his arms, with all 4 of his arms,
Oh my
and he
God.
goes, "Kin."
Wedward will point at both Gills and Yolnir and say, "Kin?"
In his exact voice.
Yolnir's voice.
Oh, I look at Gills with like
Kin? Like, I'm like a genuine like questioning, like, kin? Like, what the fuck is this?
You say it like questioning, and Yolnir took that as yep.
Yeah. I grab you with all four of my arms. I just start hugging you tight.
Oh god, I heard two cracks.
I'll put you down. Oh, this is excellent. This is excellent, Gil. I've been wanting you to join me for a while now. Oh my god.
Once Yolnir puts
I've
Gills
known you for 3
down
days.
from the hug, Wedward will walk up to Gills and kind of just and offer a hug.
I'll like gesture to Gills. Come on.
Gil steals himself, takes a deep breath, and thinks, I'm a man. I'm a man. And goes for the hug.
Do you put your arms around him also, or do you kind of just like the awkward, like, all right, this is okay?
Like, it's kind of like by the elbow out, you know? Kind of like that sort of
Okay.
hug.
So Wedward gives you a hug. It's super gentle. There is no like force behind it at all. Like it's just enough to like he is touching you and his arms are around you. That's his goal.
Light touch.
All right.
Like you can like now that you're up close to him, you can see like his body is super tiny. Like now that you're like face to face, you could probably count every rib he has in his chest. Like you can see it. Like I'm emaciated, but not like I'm still moving. Like Wedward still moves properly. Like he's not dying, but his body looks really emaciated and just frail. Now that you're seeing like his arms up close, you can see that there's almost just bone and the thinnest layer of muscle over it. So you really get a good look at like what Wedward looks like up close.
Gills tries to wiggle his way out of this hug.
Wedward will let you go. If you want to leave, Wedward will open his claws and just kind of back up.
I mean, after a few seconds, because he doesn't want that to be like one of those awkward 10-second hugs.
You have to back up though. Wedward won't stop it himself. He doesn't know.
Yeah, Gills is like backing out of the way.
As soon as you start to like back away from him, he'll like open like what looks like a cage behind you of his claws and will just back up.
Huh.
Gildir's just so excited.
I think I've fallen in love with a lot of your characters in this last like 20 minutes.
Good. Hopefully the viewers do too.
Oh man, that was good.
I mean, who wouldn't love Gills? He just went through his whole character arc in the first